Okay, so this is the second part, and I hope we'll be able to finish in this second part. So we were at C, click cell C6, and inside a column, type series name in cell C6. So cell C6, identify that. I know I'm in cell 6, name box, and you can just right click there, and then you click insert. And what are you doing? Inserting an entire column like that. You have that. So that inserts a column right here, and then you're supposed to type that information, series name. So type the name there, series, and you have to finish that name, of course, series name. And then after that, now we can move on to the second part because you're done with the page one. You can move to page two. Click cell C7. C7 is right there, and you're going to be using a lookup function. And basically, what we are doing is we have the acronym here. OR stands for Office Reference, TB stands for True Beginner, and on like that. So we are not going to be doing that manually. So we are going to be using what is that lookup function. So you'll come in here, and then you can go to formulas, and you want to use lookup. I'm sorry, lookup right there. So this data is structured vertically, so you'll use VLOOKUP, and you want to make sure that the lookup value is what? That cell value over there. And what is the table? This is the table that you're using right there, following the instructions right there. Okay, and the column index is going to be, so you compare, take this value, bring it to this table, and you have 1, 2, so column 1, column 2, so you return the value in column 2, you have 2 there, and then you want to make a what is that, an exact match, so you use the force there. So type the whole name force over there, and before you click OK, you might want to make sure that you make this an absolute cell reference, so F4, because you're going to be copying this all the way down, and then you can go ahead and click OK. So I'm going to do the first one here like that, and then you can see this is OR is office reference, OR office reference. So make sure you copy that all the way down. Don't forget to make the table array to be uh, absolute cell reference. So you can see that it's telling me I'm picking this, coming to this table, starting from here, CE, no OR, I find that, then I move the next, which is 1, 2, and I have that. So copy all that thing down. K7, go to K7. K7 is where? Right here, K7. And you're going to be changing this value here, and basically what you're going to be doing is we'll use the if function here, and we're going to be checking to make sure that if the percentage returned is less than the return rate. So this data here has the percentage returned, and then you have the rate. So if the books that were returned, the percentage rate is less than 10%, the person gets $500. If not, they don't get anything. So same thing, you'll come in here through the formula, and this is now logical. So you have the if, and it's always good to use the pop-up window, and your logical test is you're saying if the value in this cell is, so the most important thing is before you do this thing, try to figure out how you could do it manually, because if you can do it manually, then you can automate that. And basically what you're doing here is automating. We could have done this manually, and basically what you'll do is you look at this value. Is this value less than 10%? We know it is. Then we give this guy $500 bonus. If this value was 11%, is this less than this value? If no, then they don't get any bonus. So that's what you're doing right here. So G7, which is this value, is it less than the value in this cell? And it's telling us it is true. Then what do? We give this guy a 500 bonus. So we are told that the only value you're going to be typing is a 0. So that in that case, that is what happens if that statement is false. So if that is not true, then so the if statement has two outcomes. If it's true, A. If not true, then B. So that's what we do. Now remember, we have to make one of these cell references an absolute cell reference because we want to maintain this value all through. Okay, so H3 is going to be used in this cell, this cell, this cell, uh, and on like that. So what you do is you want to make sure that you make it an absolute cell reference through F4. Or you can just type the $sign next to the row and the column and the row uh, values if you're using a Mac. Okay, so you click OK, and that should give you that value. And then of course you go and copy all the way down like that. So that finishes that part. Okay, so after that we are done with that part, And now we can format the data. So select the range task, apply the percentage style, These are things that you can do. Okay, so applying the percentages and all that, I think you can do that much easy. Select the page setup, landscape, blah blah blah, margin. So that you'll do through the page layout, and you'll come here and you click the orientation. You can do it through that way, and then under the page layout, under the page setup, if you click that icon here, it gives you this pop-up window for page setup, and you have the orientation. You can also do it through here, and then you can click fit to one page right here. Okay, and if you want to make it much more better, you can do it this and this, but that's not required. So that's why you set that portion right here. Okay, set that to that. You can do that. Then inside a table, sort and filter data and apply conditional formatting. So that's another piece for this section here. So I'm hoping that when you're doing this, at least you're taking some time to learn and remember what you did, because this is what we have done throughout Microsoft Excel. So we are combining all those concepts together. Okay, click the sales sheet tab. Now we are moving from data to sales right here, and we are going to select apply the table. So you're going to be selecting this data here. We'll change it into a table. So this is what you call a range, and you're going to change that into a table. So you always click insert. We're going to be changing this into a data. So usually maximize this so we know what we're doing. And we have insert, click on insert, and then you click table. Make sure the mouse pointer is somewhere inside your structured range, and then you click the table. It gives you this option. Your data has headers. Of course it has headers. My table has headers, and then you have that data is selected. That's what you want to change. You click OK, and then you can minimize and come back there. So we finished that part. Apply the style. So the different style, the table design, if you want to maximize that, gives you this design here, and you can select whatever design you asked to do. That's not the one, I just picked one, so make sure that you select the right one. And then after that, you go and do what? Apply that, sort the data by series name. So we have our data going to be sorting by series name, and then we have to do by the net price. So go to data and then click sort, and that gives you this pop-up window. So you can select using the series name, using alphabetical, and then you click add, and then you use another option here, whatever it is, unit price, net sales, smallest to largest. So if you're using net sales, I don't think you're using net sale, using something else. So you select from largest to smallest or whatever. So that's how you go about doing that portion here. And then add a total row to display the sum of that. Then select the values in the percent return column and apply conditional formatting. So percent return, these values here, you highlight that, and you make sure you're at the home tab, and then you go to conditional formatting, and you're applying a new rule, and this is for the values I think is greater than something. So say greater than or equals to, usually greater than 9.9%, so greater than, where is greater than, like that, and then you specify here. So if you're doing greater than 12%, I just picked one value, it's supposed to be 9.9%. You'll apply that, and then you select the font here, or red text, or whatever, you click like that. So that's not how you should be doing it. Make sure that you use the light red field, dark red, like that. And then select the value in the net sales column and apply filter display only. So under the net sales here, click on this icon here, and then you apply the filter, and you're doing the number filter less than. So in this case, they're saying less than 10,000. I'm going to say greater than a certain value. And what am I going to do? Maybe 90,000. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so remember they're saying less than 100,000. So I'm giving you something different because you're going to be doing this actually. So by that, you finish this part. So remember, I'm not doing exactly the way it is. I'm just showing you how you can do this. Okay, create a column chart. So you got the net sales. Now move to this net sales right here, and then here you're going to be creating. Select the range A3. What is A? That is A3 to D7. This is D7 is right here. So I know I'm going to select all these. Click, hold, and drag all the way like that. And then you'll go to insert, and you can use the recommended charts like that, and that will give you the clustered column by default. So you have that chart like that. Click OK, and your chart will be there, and you're told to move your chart to some place A9. So bring the mouse pointer here, and click and hold and drag it until you position it right there, and you have that. And then you should be doing some formattings right here. Okay, so change the title, you change that title, and you're going to be changing the font size and all the way like that. Apply the different styles. So you have the chart styles, you can apply the different style over here, and you're going to be changing the inside end position. So you have the values that you, no, that's for the pie chart, I'm sorry. So the height and that. So this is the chart. So you right click and you go to format the chart area. That gives you this option right here. And you can click here and go to the size, and you can change the size and the height of your chart. So if you want it to be 5, just put 5 there. And if you want this to be 7, you do like that and you enter. So how I got there is you bring your mouse pointer on top of the chart, right click, and you go to format the chart area. It gives you this screen down here, and then you go to the last one and you do the size, and you can format that right here. And I think that finishes that part for you. Chart title, categories, legend. So you have this, you can change these values here through the home tab with all these functions here. Same thing here, if you have to change this, okay, you can change the same way right here with the number format. So where's the numbers? Right there. You can remove the decimals if you don't want to do that, and on like that. Okay, and the last part is you click the series tab right there, and you select, so this is for the pie chart, you select A4 to A7, A4, A4 like that. And because these are not next to each other, you'll use the control key, and then you go to what I think you're doing S4 to A7, and then also do C4, C4 like that. And then you'll go to insert and you do your pie chart, and you have your pie chart like that. And they say move the pie chart to an area on its own. So if this is highlighted, click on it to make it active, and then you can move it to a new chart, give the chart a new name as specified here like that. And then they tell you to move the chart to the end, so click and drag all the way to the end like that. And they ask you to do some what, add some data, apply the style 12. You can apply that also here through the different styles like that, and apply that, display the data labels. So as long as this is active, you can click here, and then you have data labels. So click on that, you have the data labels inside, outside end, or inside end, whichever they ask you to do. And then you can go to more options and click here data labels, and then go to more options. And when you go to more options, you'll be able to put the percentage, and you remove the value. Okay, and then you can go ahead and apply the background for the fill if they want solid fill, and you can decide the color that you want if it's like that. And then you can come home and change this to bold and change the font size like that. So these are the things that you can do right here. Apply purple accent all the way like that. Those are things that you can format. And finally, what you'll do is you want to insert footers in each worksheet. So they ask you to, you can actually increase the size of this. You can take these out. So come to the first one, and you want to select all of them. So you click the first one, then you hold the control key and select. So you're selecting all of them like that. Okay, and then you can go ahead and go to the page layout, and you can go here and do the headers and footers. So that way you're going to be doing it on every page like that. So that's how you make sure that you're doing it on every page. Everything is highlighted. Click the first one, hold the control key, and then do everything else. Everything is highlighted, and then you can go ahead and put some custom header, or you can put some custom footer and specify the information that you want like that. Then you click OK. And if you want to print preview, you do that, and that will show you how they are going to look. So you have that on the first one, and then you have that on the second one, and on like that. So that's going to be applied in all of them. And then you can see. So you're done with that. Go back and then save your file, put your name, and you're good. So I hope this helps. All the best. And remember, you can reach me through the phone, email, or discussion board. Be safe out there, and we hope the election turns positive.